We're looking at what one should do after CAT. Now that CAT results are out, what should we do then? And that's the focus here. A couple of things even before we go into that. If you're preparing for your interviews, then CAT has gone somewhat okay. Good. Congratulations on that. Having said that, once you get your CAT percentile, there is a big temptation to interpret your chances. Good, that takes you nowhere. Don't do that. Have a plan A, plan B, have a list of colleges you'll go to, take your interviews seriously, but don't do this analysis on, given that I have got a call and I am Ahmedabad and my percentile is XX and someone else has got it who's got 0.3 percentile points more, aren't my chances bleak? They have called you in, you have a chance. So go in believing that you have to make the best use of that chance. I'll give you a simple example. A few years back, we had a student who scored 99.31 and got a call with IIM Ahmedabad, which by any stretch, he's an engineer, so it's an outside chance once you get it. He did a reasonably good interview. He was confident. At the end of it, not only did he get into IIM Ahmedabad, he qualified to be selected to go for the Aditya Birla Scholarship, which only the top 20 candidates from each IIM has a shot at. So he not only clawed back in the interview, but he did so well that he was in the top 20 entrants into IIM Ahmedabad from being in what you could say having an outside chance of qualifying. Right? So pin all analysis on your percentiles, chances, all of that when you go into the interview. You should go in with a load of belief and say, look, I've been given this chance, I'm going to make the best of it. Make sure you have that attitude right on. Okay? Now going on to preparation, preparing for VAT or GD, whatever is applicable, either or both. Do reasonable amount of preparation and practice for what that entails. And I'm going to focus on that exclusively. Right? The elephant in the room is a personal interview. Right? So personal interview, we're going to focus slightly more in detail. There are three types of questions you'll face. One is based on these HR questions. Why MBA? Tell me about yourself. Write down a bunch of those and prepare for those. Second is knowledge-based questions about yourself. If you're an engineer and you don't have experience, then you can expect questions on your stream of engineering. Stay on top of that. If you have about 3 years of work experience, you can expect questions on your role and your company. Stay on top of that. The third type of question is current affairs question. So read a lot. If you've not been reading newspapers, start today. Focus a lot on that and get that right. This is what you have to prepare as far as the content is concerned. Right? I'm going to focus even less on the content and more on style. Right? The thing that I find is missing most, twofold, I'm going to categorize as detail and depth. Right? Students waffle a lot in their interviews. They say, my company has a turnover of around $1 billion. Right? Zero is around $1 billion. And so be very specific. It's about your company. If you're working on a small company, a startup, you should know this division, this segment, this part is what you're focusing on. These are next year targets. This is my role. This is what I do. You should have that detail. If you're working for Infosys, you should know the revenue to hundreds of millions. You can't say between $5 and $6 billion. That's waffling. So focus a lot on detail. This is not just your company. This is about your hobbies, about what you want to know. I've seen so many students say they like watching football, and then the last thing they watch is the World Cup or the Euro. That anybody watches. If you're a football fan and you say, I watch La Liga and my favorite club is Barcelona, you should know the starting 11. You should know why there's going to be another few months before Rafinha comes to play because he's injured. You should know that detail. Quite a lot of this detail you should anyway know, but if you're going to say that, you bloody well be prepared. So make sure whatever gap in knowledge you have now, you bridge it with preparation. Detail matters a lot. Right? Second point is depth. This is pretty much linked to detail, but I'm going to call it slightly differently because depth is about some things that you don't know straight away. You're not claiming to know. It's about current affairs. Sometimes I find students not know what questions to ask. I want to take a very simple example. Right? Our government has been trying to pass a GST bill for God knows how long. Right? So this GST has been talked about for decades now. Right? Anytime you get a question on this, I have seen mock interviews where students say some stuff like, they're trying to pass the GST bill. It's in a big log jam. The opposition does not want it. That's just waffle. Right? What does the government want to put in? What opposition parties don't like? What are they claiming to not like? What are the states going to lose? What is the center going to lose? Why is this being such a nightmare? If industry likes it, consumers will be better off. All central governments have been trying to pass. What exactly is wrong? What are the percentages that they're trying to introduce? Why is the Congress not agreeable with 1%? What should the BJP give to get some more people on board? Is their strategy right? What are the numbers? Ask the right question. Don't don't do this 10,000 feet view. If you want to learn about GST, reading 2 articles on Times of India is a starting step. It's not research. So start with that and then build on that. So the ideal preparation structure, you take a question, answer it, it will lead to a bunch of questions, write them down, answer those, then you should have a notebook that just follows a tree structure and goes on and on and on for each stream that you have. That is the way you'll get depth in each answer. Don't go in assuming that the headline number or the headline detail is sufficient. So focus a lot on depth and focus a lot on getting the details right. They matter. And the professors, they know this stuff. The professor who's not claiming to be a football fan will know a lot about football. So you cannot afford to go there and then just shoot in the dark and be this average Joe who's trying to answer questions. You will not sound smart. Right? Don't underestimate preparation that way. Right? So focus a lot on depth and detail. As far as VAT and PA are concerned, VAT and GD are concerned, we're going to do some other video to focus more on that. And congratulations. If you're thinking about practicing and preparing for interviews, you've crossed one hurdle. Give yourself a pat on the back. All the best.